to welcome you all to this important committee. So today marks a very significant step forward in our shared journey to empower young people and transform agriculture into a more sustainable, climate resilient and inclusive sector. So I welcome you all, as we are all aware that agriculture lies at the heart of our economy, be it any country, especially Africa. So, yet it is the most vulnerable sector. So today we are going to talk a little bit about the journey of global CSAYN, how it started. I personally joined in 2017 with all the SADC countries, 14 SADC countries, in 2017. So it's been a long journey, and I'm very proud of my journey with CSAYN. So when we talk about climate smart agriculture, this is where our network comes in. The CSAYN isn't just a platform. So when we started, we were just called, country coordinators, regional coordinators. But then we have what we have now. We have CSAYN schools. So in between, we had the. So what happened is, it is a movement, driven by a determination of all the young members, all the members who have joined from all over the years, when it started with our founder, Divine. So I have a pleasure to welcome Ambassador Hans and all other leads, co-chairs and everyone to this meeting. So throughout the meeting, you'll be hearing success stories. You'll be hearing from a lot of our members, our mentees. So I think we will soon have a video projection from Divine. This video will enable you all to see how our journey started and where it has arrived. So I think, Divine, we will
yes.
Start with the video.
Yeah, I think because of time,
Yes.
I'm not going to play the video. I'll just go straight. We'll just go straight into the event. Yeah. So, if you're handing me the floor, you say you're handing me the floor.
Yes, of
Oh,
course.
thank you. Thank you very much. I want to
Thank
say
you.
thank you very much, Mila. Mila has been with me, since 2017. She was actually the person that set up the country coordinators across 30 countries. That was then. But today we are in 178 countries. So to say that the journey has not been easy, but it has been sustainable. And resilience has actually been one of our driving forces. So I'm glad because I have many of my mentors right here who started the journey with me. Many of my mentors are right here. Ambassador Hans is here, even my instructors here in the United States where I'm studying that year online that decided to come and support what we're doing to see actually for their own eyes what we've been able to do. So without more further much ado, I'm going to come out with the 3 expected outcomes. I term them the triple wins. We're going to actually endorse all the co-chairs for the CSAYN Research and Scientific Committee, which is actually the platform whereby all researchers from the master students, of course, we all recall that when students graduate from universities and from PhD, whatever level, all these theses are being kept on shelves. So I thought about it. I said, but what can we do with my team to add value to this, to shift this, from this system? So we decided to set up a committee of think tank, who are going to be like informing the global leaders on what needs to be done, especially when it comes to research and science. So, for example, I recall that in Cameroon, when I was doing one of the research with UNICEF, I went to a community. I couldn't speak the language, but I was able to get a translator, a community leader that helped me. But after the research with UNICEF, I never went back to that community until I left and came back and came to the United States. So we want to come out of that silo, meaning that when the PhD students goes to a community to carry out research, you should be able to go back after after he's graduated, because the scientific committee is going to support him to make sure that they vet their thesis, to develop proposals, and he goes back and implement the proposal or the project in that committee where he carried out the research. That's the only way we can change things. It's not by just sitting and talking or coming out declarations. So we have decided to take this bold step to take this leadership at the level of CSAYN to change the mindset of people. So without much ado, the second deliverable is we're gonna actually launch the annual forum, because I came to realize we are growing very big. How do we make sure? And I borrowed this from GAXA, of course. Ambassador Hans is going to talk a little bit. GAXA, which was actually the framework where all the food system, the different partner CSOs, governments, private sector were coming together in Rome to discuss on some of the transformation agendas. So we are borrowing from that idea of annual forum. So we're going to be launching the CSAYN annual forum, where every year we'll be bringing young people, women, the elderly, researchers, head of state in the country X, one of these countries, for them to discuss what I've done across the year. The third thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be actually, coming up with some of the journey, some of the success stories. We have all of them here. They're going to be sharing their pathway, what has been able to, what has transformed their lives. As my colleague Miller mentioned, we're going to be shifting by January 1st, 2026. We're going to be shifting from centers of excellence to CSAYN schools. So that's how really visionary we are with my team. I want to thank my team for all the effort. That said and done, I want to introduce my very, very, I call him my father for real, Ambassador Hans. He has been with me since 12 years, more than 12 years. I remember when they were designing the GAXA program, FAO, when he was a PR, the permanent representative to the Rome-based agencies. I was invited to sit at the strategic committee, one of the youngest people. So I just want to say, Ambassador Hans, I want to give you the floor. It's always interesting. And of course, before I continue, before Ambassador comes in, I had a call with him and I said, Ambassador Hans, right now we are moving so fast. We need you. We need you as the board chair for CSAY. And Ambassador Hans told me on the phone, Divine, I can't say no. I can't say no. Put my name there right now. So that's really to show that he has actually decided to transform the lives of young people, and he has been doing that over all his life within the UN, all his life within this diplomatic world. So, Ambassador Hans, I want to thank you. I mean, as an individual, first of all, as a family, as a community, and on behalf of all the young people who are not even here today, but who were part of the process back then. Over to you, Ambassador Hans.
Thank you very much, my dear friend. My dear friend, fine. All who are here are my friends. And certainly, why you are my friends? Because we need you. The current generation is not able to find the solutions we need. That's why I'm so proud that I see this initiative, this growing initiative, which should be applauded and which should get the support from all governments, from the private sector, from academia, etc. And it's clear that if you continue, you will get the place you deserve as the youth. My journey with climate smart agriculture started in 2010 with Jürgen Vögele, the current vice president of the World Bank. And we saw the silos between agriculture and climate. And those silos had to be broken down because there is no food without fighting climate change, but there's no climate change, fighting climate change, if there's not food security. So we started a series of international conferences and we launched the Global Alliance for Climate Smart Agriculture in 2014 during the United Nations General Assembly in New York. And since then, it was a growing alliance. But it's clear, certainly nowadays, that we need to do much more. Because what you see now is that the world is completely off track. We are going to face the worst humanitarian crisis ever in our history of human mankind. During the first World Food Summit in 1996, I was a young diplomat. We discussed how to solve the problem of 800 million people in hunger. Today, although we made some progress, we are still discussing 800 million people in hunger. And the World Bank has estimated that every 1% rise of prices will, as a consequence, have 10 million more people in hunger. If I was not that good in math in the past, but when you look to it, it means that in 2 or 3 years, we are going to have 1 billion people without food, enough food, 1 billion people in hunger. And our future depends now, of course, on the actions, because what we have seen over the last decade, at the global level, we made our commitments. We made action plans. We know the solutions. But if you go to an international meeting, whether it would be in New York, at UNGA, whether it would be in Rome with FVO, whether it would be in Geneva or in UNEP in Nairobi, if you ask the question, how are we going to do it? Then it remains silent in the room. And that's the problem which we are facing now. Our collective future depends on our ability to act with urgency, because words are not enough anymore. International conference of parties with an outcome are not enough anymore. Too often, the biggest challenge we face is not the lack of ideas or ambition, but the failure to implement them effectively. Not only at the global level, but certainly also at the national and local level. And that's why we have to look at you. Because you, as the youth, are the bright guys we need, guys and girls, or men and women we need for the future. I was founding father together with 2 or 3 others of the World Food Forum in Rome. And it started the first 2 years as a forum with and by the youth. But it was taken over by its success because now the Director General has taken over and the youth is put to the margins. The youth should never allow this, because we need the youth, we need your ideas, we need your innovations. We need that you will step up and not only ask for the seat around the table, but take your seat around the table, because that is so necessary if we want to find the solutions we need so much. And it's not only about the youth, but it's also about, when you look how to solve problems, too often we have thought that governments would take the lead and could solve problems. It's clear at the global level, at the national level, but also at the local level, we need also the private sector, the companies. And I think the companies are now looking for the bright guys to be the entrepreneurs of the future, the current entrepreneurs, but also the entrepreneurs of the futures, because you have ideas about innovation. But it also is not just a given, because we have to put our mouth to the action. And it means also that companies and governments have to support the youth when it comes to startups, etc. Last week or the beginning of this week, I was in Nairobi in Kenya for a first round table about how to solve food losses. Food losses at the national level in Kenya and the local level. Because that's a good example where we need the youth when it comes to innovations. 30% of our food produced worldwide is lost every year. It has a global worth of $1 trillion. Think what you can do if you could invest with $1 trillion in businesses, in the youth, and youth action. So what we have to do is not just discuss at the global level, but we should go now to the action at the national and the local level. And we should find possibilities, and I've seen it in practice in Kenya, I've seen it in Rwanda, I've seen it in the Netherlands, where we have to find combinations, actors who join in partnerships for action on the ground. And it's not only about the action, but because we also need the technology and innovation. And what often we say, we have so many innovations, we have the technologies, why it's not happening? That's because we are producing enough food worldwide to feed 800 million people. It's not getting there. We have so many innovations and technologies, but they are not getting to the farmers and to the countries where it's needed. And that's why we need to use to step up and fill that gap. I've seen that together with the companies which are looking for the bright youth nowadays, we can fill that gap in a fast track approach. That's why I'm so proud to be, as an old guy with gray hair, to be involved in this great initiative. Because if I've seen how fast your movement has grown in Africa, and let's be honest, reports of the World Bank as well as from FAO have shown and are showing that within 20 years, the main food production for the markets will come from Africa. So that is an enormous challenge, but it's also an enormous opportunity to step up. And don't be shy, because what we certainly don't need is the youth being shy. We can, as the current generation cannot solve the problems anymore. So we have to work and should work with you, because I've seen many youth initiatives which brought forward concrete action on the ground in many countries. So demand your place at the table, ask your place at the table. You can be assured, and because we discussed it also this week in Nairobi, that we can push governments, we can push companies to support the youth with funding for startups, with partnerships with startups. But the ask from you has to be made quite clear and concrete, because it's not that creating another fund, that doesn't work. We have seen so many funds at the multilateral level, and they are taken over by bureaucracy and by politics. The concreter you can make your asks, the better we can match your ask with those who want to invest. And that are the companies, whether it would be in the seed sector, whether it would be in the dairy sector, whether it would be in the genetic sector. They are there and they are willing to invest, but the ask has to be made clear. That's why your initiative, which you are discussing today, your committee, can be a focal point and a matchmaker for those initiatives. And that's why I think we have to look how you can make your actions concrete. And I'm speaking too long, because you should take the forum, you should take the annual forum. And I admire the Vine, with what he already achieved. And look to the Vine, because we are now for more than 12 years friends. If I see what he has achieved in this short term and time, take that as an example that you can achieve what you need to do. And my wish for you is to inspire and to shape a better world, a world which is really working for the common good. And do it with courage, because you have much more courage than we have at this moment. Because what we have seen, brave men and women cannot lose. This light, which you have much more and stronger than we have, should be passed on to everybody. Let's make the so much needed investments and deals for the youth in your countries to become the champions which we so desperately need globally, but nationally and locally, to achieve food security, to achieve climate smart agriculture, to achieve a youth with inspiration, with jobs, with investments in startups, so that they can change the world we so much need. And at the end, to better serving the people who depend on us. And my generation now depends on you. I have the full trust in you, certainly your committee, but your endeavor. And I'm more than willing in any way to support you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Hans, and I really deeply appreciate on behalf of entire my colleagues. Of course, you mentioned a couple of points. The youth forum at FAO, I remember as well that CSAYN was cabled by FAO then to come up with, to be part of the technical team to design this under your leadership. And of course, I think those are forums that have actually been, as you said, it was a youth stuff, but now it has become an FAO stuff, which makes things very, very complicated for implementation because not all young people in community are fully involved in that process. That's why I stood very firm to what I believed in back in 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Ambassador Hans, I want to really thank you as well. I mean, standing as a chair for this board, for the board of CSAYN, for us, it's a big win for us. And I say this sincerely because I've seen you over the years supporting all what we've been doing, and you've always encouraged me to say, Divine, don't worry. Don't worry. Even how busy you are, you've been standing in our meetings, 3 hours, you are there, But I just want to say thank you. Sincerely, we want to thank you. We couldn't achieve this without your support. Of course, I faced challenges. As everybody, a young person who faces a challenge, but I never gave up. And that's why I tell young people on this call, life is being focused, standing for what you believe in, not copying what people are doing, but believe in what you believe in, what you stand for. You know, what I know best doing is connecting people. What I know best doing is coming out with new ideas on daily basis. That's why I tell everyone here that every day of my life is a testimony. Something new happens, and that's a focus of someone who wants to move forward. So really, I want to say thank you, Ambassador Hans. Really, thank you. I want to give now the floor to my very good friend, Zebron is actually, he works with WMO in at the African office, and I think Zebron has a lot to share with us. But of course, Zebron, have the floor to perhaps give some comments. Looking at what Ambassador Hans has said, I'm sure you took some notes. I have some key points you want to highlight and equally give us a perspective of how WMO can actually be part of what we're doing. Of course, we already had this discussion, and we have actually agreed to work together. And of course, I did some work research with WMO many years back, and I'm really grateful that after the visit in Addis Ababa, things are materializing. Let me give you the floor, my brother Zeblon.
Yes, thank you, Divine, for this opportunity to speak to you and also be part of this discussion today. Thank you, Ambassador Hans, for that journey, taking us through where it all started and how the youth can actually take an active and lead role in trying to find solutions on the current problems that are bedeviling us. I think this is a good discussion that we need to have and strengthen this committee, and even in terms of trying to give push to the youth and the upcoming communities to look for solution. Yeah, my name is Zablon, as Divine has mentioned. I am from the World Meteorological Organization. It's my first time to join this discussion in this committee, and I believe we will be having a future discussion with the CSAYN as we program activities together and see areas that we can have core interests and collaborations, and where the World Meteorological Organization can be able to support the youth and this initiative to see that the objectives are achieved. We are a very strong player when it comes to the climate space, especially in Africa. We are all aware that the impacts of climate change are greatest on this continent. And the climate smart agriculture, among other smart technologies, is one way that we will be able to achieve and mitigate some of these problems bedeviling our continent. WMO has a strong role to play in this field. You all very well know that we provide a lot of data, a lot of climate services that can actually influence some of the decisions, some of the practices, and some of the cropping and agricultural lifestyles that will be able to sustain resilience and provide food security. So I think we will be collaborating with you, even in terms of research, looking at the new technologies that need to be applied. WMO has, in fact, a strong research component that will be going into the discussions to create programs and create solutions that will lead to climate resilient communities going into forward. Maybe I just wanted to share with you a little bit of 2 or 3 priorities from WMO that could be able to support the activities of the youth and the activities under this program, including what we normally do to support member states in the region, and also working with national governmental organizations to be able to push forward a number of activities, including supporting early warning systems in all sectors of the sphere. So one of the priorities that we have is to work with the communities, utilizing the indigenous knowledge that these communities have, and how we can be able to retrieve that and weave it together with the scientific knowledge that we have to provide a good early warning information that can be able to support various sectors, including the agricultural sector that we are discussing part of this forum. We are also very keen on seeing how we can be able to provide capacities to various organizations, including national institutions, for them to be able to produce technical advice, appropriate tools, and also engage stakeholders, which include, I think, teams like this ones that we are having here, and we can be able to see what kind of support we will be able to provide, including developing proposals together that can be able to fund some of these activities going forward. I just also wish to mention that perhaps we need to also look at the emerging technologies. This is one area that we are exploring what we can do to support members in terms of the emerging technology that supports some of the activities under the agricultural sector, for example, like in artificial intelligence to be applied in providing forecasting technologies that can support our farmers, and also providing monitoring and evaluation programs to see if we provide this information to the farmers, what is the socioeconomic benefits of us having provided this information. So as I indicated that I'm just joining for the first time, I will wish to see how the discussion goes and how the World Meteorological Organization can be able to partner very closely with you and inject in some of the programs that we do and work together to be able to support our communities together. So I will be joining you from now onwards to be part of this committee and see how we can be able to collaborate together. Thank you, Divine. Let me stop here for now. Thanks a lot.
Asante, Karibu. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much, my brother. I'm so glad thanks for your commitment on behalf of WMO. This is a huge opportunity and a huge, success for us as well, an achievement. So let me introduce Professor Paul Hallett. Professor Paul is he's the president for the British Society of Soil Science, and he's equally because out of the committee, we have the committee right there. Then we have the advisory. We have the advisory group for the committee, technical arms, where Zebulon is part of, and I think Professor Paul is equally part of it. So, Professor Paul, I want you to intervene to give us maybe 2-minute statement of from what you've heard, and you announce the annual conference coming up next month. Professor Paul, you have the floor.
Great, thank you very much, Divine. So my name is Paul Hallett. I'm based up at the University of Aberdeen, which is in the far north of the United Kingdom. And I'm a soil scientist there, and I teach soil science and also research soil science as well. When you think of smart agriculture, soil's at the center of it. Soil's at the center of everything to do with farming. And I think we've got a lot that we can possibly offer to the network as the British Society of Soil Science. So in July of this year, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the GCSAYN, and that was really because we share goals in terms of education, in terms of international outreach, and in terms of gaining greater knowledge, both on soils, but also soils and sustainable agriculture as well. So Divine's asked me to join the scientific committee, so the research and scientific committee of GCS. So I'll have to get this acronym, GCSAYN.
Yes.
And in that, we've basically discussed how we can help with the mentorship program and also on looking at research projects going forward. Obviously, with British Society of Soil Science, being able to offer much more on the side of soil. We have our conference in December, which Divine mentioned. So at our annual conference, we have Professor Alechi Asawalam from Michael Okpara University, who's also on this call. She is going to attend, and at that, she's going to launch the GC SAYN annual forum. What she may not know is that at the moment I supervise or just finished supervising one of the students who was a Michael Okpara University graduate called Utibi
Oh,
Uton. And we've got a long history in the UK, I think, of educating students from around the world, including a good crowd from Nigeria as well. So hopefully we can build on that and help your network considerably. And I'm really excited to be involved with this. So thank you, Divine.
thank you, Paul, for this insightful. And of course, what you did mention, I have to mention it. Colleagues, LHA is going to the UK on full sponsorship from the British Society of Soil Science. Ticket, hotel, everything being paid for. She's going to be there from the 1st to the 6th of December. I want to say, Paul, thank you very much. When I had the discussion with your ED, your Executive Director, Andrew Morrison, we discussed, and he told me, Divine, don't worry about it. We are together. Paul, yes, Paul's colleagues flew from the UK and came to New York, and we had some bilaterals. We had a discussion, and of course, that was my first anniversary I held at the UN headquarters, where he actually brought some wine for me from the UK. I want to say thank you, Paul, for everything. I just ended a call with the University of Oxford, and I think Emily was on this call, and I was telling her I'm going to introduce her to you because the work they are doing there with the students and universities is equally, a connection of what we are already doing. So that would be a good connection between your institution and Oxford University. I want to thank you very much, Paul, for that because this is a big achievement for us. Eliche, she's going to be launching the annual forum. She's going to be launching this committee as well because she has a very big session where Andrew is going to be the moderator for this session. We are working a lot under the scene with all to package everything together before she leaves for the UK. Thank you very much, Paul. It was just to say I'm very, very excited to be part of you. And from today henceforth, we're going to keep doing what we're going to do. So I'm going to hand over to my very good, anyway, since I have the good understanding of the committee co-chairs, I know those that are here are just gonna give them maybe 1 minute each for them to give us a word. Just 1 minute each, not 1 minute. It was 2 minutes before, but now it's streaming 1 to 1 minute just for them to say what they have to say concerning the committee. So the co-chair. So I'm gonna start with Professor Elichi. Professor Elichi, you have the floor, please. Professor Elichi, you have the floor. Okay.
Thank
I think
you.
she's
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you,
Good.
everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, very loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone from wherever you are. I am Professor Licha Sawalam from College of Crop and Soil Sciences of Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Modike. I'm the co-chair for the GCSAYN Research and Scientific Committee. Basically, Climate Smart Agricultural Youth Network recognizes that over 70% of the academic research never reaches practical application. And our approved centers of excellence bridge this gap by transforming the students' thesis into implementable, sustainable solutions. And the objective basically is to ensure that 100% of these theses are bankable and also transferred to achievable projects. And we also intend to establish over 20 industry academia partnerships for scaling. The program components include an implementation framework, as well as the quarterly virtual research to field workshops. And the expected outcome of this committee is that about 80% increase in research utilization rates will be achieved, and about 30% reduction in project duplication. Because if they are shelved, people will not know what people have done, what has been published. But if the research is published, there will not be a duplication of this research work. As well, there will be, we expect to have about 5% scalable innovations annually. And then we're trying to ensure that we make use of our students, the alumni network of GCSAYN for continuous mentorship through community of practices. And as well, we want to ensure that there will be annual impact report and success stories to the partners who will be sponsoring it. And we have the University of Pretoria. We also have McGill University, Canada. And basically, the researches are aligned with GCSAYN's pillars, which include greenhouse gas mitigation in food systems, as well as sustainable and resilient cropping. It will also involve digital agriculture for the environment mitigation and environmental adaptation, as well as a circular bioeconomy and environmental education. And basically, we have a criteria which, because of time, I will not go into that, which the committee has been able to develop. And there will be a selection process, which involve a preliminary screening by centers of excellence leads. This is to help us to eliminate about 40%. And then there'll be technical review by panels of strategic committee. We have lucky to have a Professor Paul from BSSS and other colleagues who are also part of this committee, who will help us to be able to review the proposals that will be developed by these students. And we also expect that about the top 20% advance to the virtual pitch session. And there will be post-selection requirements, and there will also will have monthly progress reports, which they would write reports using GCSAYN templates. The committee has developed that. There will also be, we decided to include even the TVETs and the postgraduate students. And currently we have some calls from some graduate programs from universities, which the executive director, Divine, has forwarded to us. The committee is going to make use of that in the selection process. And the areas, we have various areas, including environment, biology, agriculture, and all that, like STEM, basically. And the framework is going to ensure research excellence while prioritizing real-world impact and creating a pipeline from academic work to climate action implementation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Lichi. Thank you very much. Of course, thanks for the good work. Of course, I have a long history with her. Since 2018, she's been with part of us, and she has established the Center of Excellence at Michael Opara University. Thank you, Prof. And of course, you now hear that Paul, you're going to meet Paul. Paul is actually supervising some of your students from Michael Opara, as he said. So that's a very, very good meeting you are going for in the UK. Thanks very much indeed. I'm going to give to the next co-chair, Professor Sarada. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Divine. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, respected Ambassador Hans and other members of the CSAYN and the members who are present over here for a nice journey, that is a scientific committee which is going to be formed on behalf of the CSAYN. And before I proceed to any committee members or committee things, I just here want to tell you that I have associated around 6 years with Divine and of course the CSAYN, and I can strongly say that this is not a movement but it is revolution, and it is a connecting link between the youth engagement to youth empowerment. Why I told empowerment? Because we are going to empower the youth with scientific technology. Because we all know that without technology we can't do anything. So this my previous speaker, Professor Elichi, has elaborately spoke about the fundamentals and the concept and the selection process, everything. And this committee is having a very talented persons over all across the globe, Professor Paul and Professor Ibrahim and so many also others. So we have created a very ecosystem to ignite the young minds, not only the graduate or postgraduate, but the school students, whoever have some innovative idea that can be converted to actually the research project, which will be appreciated across the globe. So I congratulate Divine for this nice work, and that is moving to the scientific committee and scientific story. And from India, I thank everybody for present over here, and I thank Divine, and I respect Professor Hans, Ambassador Hans, for being the board member, president of this committee. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, my brother, my very good friend. Thanks very much for always supporting what we're doing. Now I'm gonna move from, we started in Africa, we have gone to Asia. Now let me come back to North America. Larissa, my very good friend and sister, you have the floor.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's just such an honor to speak at the Global Climate Smart Youth Network Research and Scientific Committee, and congratulations on such an amazing progress. It's a huge success, and congratulations to Divine and to all chairs and co-chairs and all the members of this amazing network. So I just want to say that I will speak on behalf both of Dr. Becky Boger, who is the Vice President of the Next Generation Global Collaboratory and a professor at the University of New York. She is right now away at the Cornell University, and she asked me to speak on behalf of us both. We are honored to really to sign the MOU with the network, and again, hats off to Divine for his amazing leadership. It's just really making a huge difference. Let me just say, less than 1 minute, my remarks that Professor Borgier and I, we would like to convey a message for you, for all of you, that partnerships and mentorships are at the heart of the lasting climate action. None of us can solve global challenges alone. It takes collaboration across generations, discipline, and borders. Partnerships connect ideas, innovation, impact. At the center of this collaboration is the power of citizen science, where people everywhere collect and share data through sensors and local observations, creating a living network of insights. Citizen science and sensors together create data, and with artificial intelligence, that data transforms into knowledge and action for a better planet. This is where our partnership and mentorship and technology unite to turn shared learning into the real solution for a sustainable future. And with that, again, hats off to all of you for being involved in such an amazing work. Hats off to Divine and to all of you. Of course, I am amazed of the chair, Ambassador Hans, and the professor Paul, who just spoke. We work closely with universities in Aberdeen and hopefully to really connect through the network. Again, thank you and congratulations to all. It's an honor to be part of this network. Over to you, Divine.
Thank you very much, Larissa. Thanks very much for the endless support, the entire Globe team, the entire Next Generation, all what you've been doing. We're really grateful for that, and we are looking forward to strengthening this collaboration the more as we launch the implementation phase next year, spring. Thank you very much. Let me move over. Ambassador, Professor Ibrahim, are you here? Professor Ibrahim? Okay, I'm gonna move straight to Fiordalisa and her husband. Professor Fiordalisa, you have the floor.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. It is an
Good
honor
morning.
for me to be here. I want to thank you so much, Divine, for inviting me. I just want to say how happy I am to work as a team. I'm very happy, and I'm looking forward to share with everyone about mentorship and collaborate with everyone. I'm going to give the floor to my husband, which is going to speak more about mentorship and what we're doing together. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Loud and clear. Welcome, Stephen.
Yeah, so thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Stephen Ippolito. I'm a professor at CUNY and also at SUNY. I teach disability studies, Africana, Latinx, and Caribbean studies. Yeah, I just want to go a little bit over the importance, like, as we know that internships, they build experiences for people. They also lead into people becoming leaders, and they teach leadership skills, particularly in this field, because, we talk about agriculture, agritech, food processing, and marketing, also about mentorship programs. As we spoke last time, we were coming up with a mentorship scholarship program that we wanted to do. The importance being that I believe that the mentorship program, as long as my wife, and having scholarships builds it builds like a bridge to people so they can learn, and also it helps support the people that are working there, right, and builds upon that. Again, we could bring in a lot of talented people, including students, young women and youth. and they'll be able to work together. As we know, worldwide, there's a lack of resources and also increased need for generating food and stuff like that. So right now we're looking for people, and we actually have talked to some people that are willing to sponsor the scholarship program. We want to do outreach programs, including programs where they're going to be able to do farming, learning how to with the soil to refertilize the soil and make it plantable for crops and stuff like that. Also, we'll be teaching the internship and mentorship programs. We'll be teaching about leadership and management as well in those fields. So it's not only going to be about agriculture, it'll also be about doing things for increasing work abilities and leadership as well.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you very much, Professor Stephen and Professor Fidelis. We are so grateful to have you here. And we are really indeed grateful for the offer to really support the mentorship program. We are really grateful for that. And of course, we are just piling up some of the blessings. We started from Ambassador Hans, we are going to WMO, we've gone to BSS, and everybody is just saying we are there to make things happen. Thank you very much indeed. I don't know, Professor Ibrahim, are you here? Okay, let me give the floor to my co-facilitator, my sister Miller from Mauritius, to take over the 2 or 3 success stories, one from Alinafe and then one from Madu, because I really want us to stick to time. Yes, you have the floor, Miller.
Thank you all, especially Ambassador Hans, for reminding us that the youth and the members of the CSAYN Global are not only the leaders of tomorrow, but we are the change makers of today. So with our collective commitment, we can build a future where agriculture thrives in harmony with the environment and ensuring food security and sustainability for generations to come. And thank you all the other speakers for the nice words about CSAYN and the collaboration you are all looking forward to. So, so now we'll talk a little bit about the success stories. So, so Divine, do you want me to call upon the
Alinafe is here.
to talk about?
Alinafe, yes, she's here.
Yes. Okay, over to
Alinafe, over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Special mention to Ambassador Hans and everyone who has spoken before me. My name is Alinafe Kaliwa. I'm from Malawi. I'm the founder and managing director of Macro Limited, an agriculture technology company. We call ourselves an innovation company. We are creating affordable data-driven tools that help smallholder farmers to adapt to climate change. Our work primarily focuses on climate smart irrigation and digital decision support systems that help smallholder farmers. We have a partnership with Virtual Irrigation Academy, and we are deploying chameleon tools that use colors, no numbers, just colors to help smallholder farmers. We are also developing and innovating Munda AI, which is an integral part of a decision engine that will help smallholder farmers to know when to irrigate, when to fertilize, what type of fertilizer to put in their field, and of course, what they need to expect after taking care of their crops. Through these innovations, we aim to make technology accessible to rural farmers and improve water use efficiency and build resilience for food security across Africa. I'm also a mentor in the mentorship program of GCSAYN, and I'm mentoring two amazing mentees from Cameroon and Zambia, and it's really a very good experience. Thank you so much for the time.
Miller, Miller, I'm glad. Thank you. So Miller, you're going to call upon Mado. Mado is the next. She's actually going to speak on behalf of mentees. Yes, Miller, over to you.
Yes, of course. Over to you, Madhu. So you can talk a little bit. on behalf of all the mentees of the CSAYN.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I am Magdalene Undum, a mentee at GCSAYN Mentorship Environment Program lead. I am talking as a representative of all the mentees of GCSAYN Mentorship Program. And of course, it's been an amazing time working with GCSAYN, and we have carried out a lot of activities under the mentorship of our ED, Divine Tioka. I just wish to present some of our environmental activities that we have carried out across the globe. And when we talk about West Africa, we have actually carried out activities in Kaduna State University, where we have mentees like Abdul Ali, Mariam, which with focus areas on climate literacy, plastic reduction, and green skills. So we have carried out activities to educate biotechnology students on the relevance and application of sustainable development goals. We equally have activities in Cameroon that have been carried out by mentees like A Young Mercy in the southwest region of Cameroon, where we partnered with community development specialization training schools and conducted cleanup and environmental awareness campaigns, and equally promoted environmental conservation and community responsibility. Not forgetting the Central region, which is the heart of Cameroon, where I reside together with Yemili Uget. We have collaborated and still collaborating with Mevik Academic Complex with the lead mentee, Yemili, where we have educated students on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and contributed ideas on the African Development Bank Civil Society Partnership Initiatives. Also, we have indigenous communities like the Babaju community in the West region of Cameroon, where we have our fellow mentees.
Mado, good job, but I have to stop you because we are on time. Thank you. We got all the good work you're doing, and really, we expect that you should send this on maybe on the chat box. Type everything on the chat box for the sake of time. Everything on the chat box that you want people to know your contacts and everything. That's really important. And thank you very much for your leadership for ensuring that the work across the mentees is being well coordinated. And of course, with your experience as a future diplomat, you have Ambassador Hans here who will be willing to mentor you. I think that's a good one for you as well. And of course, you have other colleagues here who are willing to mentor you all. So make sure you keep up the good work. Thank you very much indeed. With this, I'm going to call upon David. I'm going to call upon David. David, I prefer to step in because David is a very special friend to me as well. We just knew each other. And I think I'm going to give him 2 minutes to share what they have for CSAYN and the world, of course. So, David, you have the floor.
Thank you, Divine. I'm very grateful to you, Divine, for this invitation. And I've been listening carefully. And I was very impressed by what everyone has said. But I hear always the same recurring theme, which is food security, new technology, and how we can align this in order to obtain, is it okay for me to continue?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
In order to obtain results. My company, together with the Monaco Quantum Elements Association, which is a non-profit based in Monaco, distributes this technology on a pro bono basis, and we obtain real results all across the world without putting anything into the soil or into the ecosystem. So it's a totally new paradigm, and we'd be happy to collaborate with anyone. Yes, thank you, Divine.
Yeah, and I just want to echo that we have already signed an MOU with them. So the idea is that, as you said, we're going to deploy across all the centers of excellence and all the other institutions and the different countries to work in. Thank you very much, David, for that very insightful
Thank you, Divine.
input. I'm gonna give the floor now to my very good friend, um, 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 Dr.
Dr.
Francis.
Francis.
Dr. Francis, please. Mila, over to you.
Yeah, so would love to hear from Dr. Francis, who is from the University of Kabanga, which is actually the GCSAYN Africa Hub. Over to you, Dr. Francis.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction.
You get, can you stop sharing? You get, please, can you stop sharing? You get, stop sharing your screen. That screen should be stop sharing so that we can go ahead. Yes, Dr. Francis, over to you, please.
Okay. I'm Francis Oduor from Kenya, specifically University of Kabianga, which is in Kericho. Kericho is one of the highlands and the tea growing zones of Kenya. And I want to believe that each of us here has enjoyed tea. We are actually the regional office for Africa under the youth network that we are speaking of. And we coordinate regional activities in Africa and even support youth-led climate action initiatives. And therefore, across Africa, so far we have over 40 centers of excellence. And so far, since the inception, over 1,000 interns have actually gone through these centers of excellence, and we are proud of that. In addition, there are some countries that have actually customized their names to GCSAYN. For example, South Africa, they have registered a youth network with GCSAYN, South Sudan, Somali, Zimbabwe, among others. And then in terms of setup, we have clusters in Africa. So we have the East Africa cluster, which is led by Rift Valley National Polytechnic. We have the SADC region. We have the West Africa region, which majorly being coordinated from Nigeria and other countries there. Then we have the Central Africa region, specifically coordinated by Rwanda. And we also had the virtual academy where our interns could get some of the agricultural innovations, technologies, trainings, which is being hosted by Mr. Domenico Vita of Italy. And basically, our interns were actually getting virtual trainings from that virtual academy. So specifically for University of Kabianga, we can say that we joined, we've been there since 2021, where we signed the MOU. And so far, 27 interns have gone through our hands. And they have done so many activities in terms of tree planting, community outreach, knowledge exchange, gender mainstreaming, environmental conservation, among others. They have also tried to reach out to their fellow youths and so on. All these activities have been geared towards youth leadership, environmental awareness, and practical agricultural and climate action oriented. Let me say that what Professor Ans talked about a conference in Nairobi some days ago, University of Kabianga is one of the exhibitors who were there, and we were able to demonstrate to the world that we can actually change some of the food waste and losses, especially food waste, into some marketable products. And we're actually displaying the edible products from pineapple waste in that stand. And therefore, with the GCSAYN, University of Kabianga has actually benefited. The youth network gave us one laptop, we really appreciate, among other centers of excellence in Africa. And therefore, in conclusion, let me say that University of Kabianga remains committed to strengthen partnership, support youth empowerment and climate smart agriculture, and advance sustainable development across Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much for being there. Thanks for always being, so resilient in ensuring that we transform the next generation. I think with this, we're gonna have just like the clapping will mean that we are endorsing the committee, and then the clapping will still mean we are launching the annual forum. So I want to hear everybody do that. But Ambassador Hans, I don't know if you are still here.
Yes, I'm still there, and I'm listening to you, and I applaud you. I applaud you in another success. But the real success is the Moment Annual Forum and this committee, which can be very and will be very powerful with all the support which I've seen already during this meeting, but also I know you have. If you can get things done at the country level of the members of your committee, and I'm sure I will do everything in what I have to support you, to make sure that you get the support from the global community, from the champions when it comes to Champions 12.3 when it comes to the food losses, from the Global Alliance when it comes to climate smart agriculture, but also from universities like Wageningen University and others, and also the companies, because we have to match with the companies. We have to match the youth with the companies, that companies will support startups of the youth to make success stories, because you will be in the lead in the food systems within 20 years, and the sooner the better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Hans. So I want to say, colleagues, we just have to put on our cameras for a screenshot. This actually calls to tell us that the commitments are there, the endorsement has been done. The annual forum, next annual forum, we're going to announce the date and the venue and everything in the course of the as we are closing the year. And I want to say that we actually one other announcement, very important. I had a meeting this morning with the UN UNICA, the EDEP section based in Dakar. We are working towards launching a community of practice where we are bringing every young people, all the young people across the world together towards planning for a very big forum next year in Addis Ababa at the UN compound. So we are going to be working on that. We are working on that with them. The concept note is ready. So next week they'll be sharing that with me, and I'll be sharing with all of you who have been here today, and so that we start planning for this very big forum. I just want to say thank you very much indeed. That said and done, colleagues, my mentees, everybody will take the screenshots, and then we call it a day. In the count of 5, I start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We take the screenshot, multiple of the screenshots. Please put on your cameras for those who are on off camera. So you get, and colleagues, if you confirm to me, thank you very much, colleagues. We can clap to say we are endorsing this. We can just clap. We can just clap to say we are endorsing the community. We are endorsing the forum, and we are grateful for all what has been achieved for the past 10 years. With this, I want to thank everyone, Ambassador Hans. I want to thank WMO who left because of another engagement, because he actually sits, is the PA for the Director General in Africa. I want to thank, all the speakers, the Globe, everybody, the next generation, collaboratory framework. I want to say thank you very much for being here. We just wanted to respect time because we know how late it is. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Diva.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.